Welcome to the AI Governance Masterclass, From Principles to Practice. Over this course you'll learn how to make AI responsible, lawful, and trustworthy in the real world, anchored in the EU AI Act, the NIST framework, and ISO 42001, and aligned with the leading professional body of knowledge. Let's get started. Let's start with where we actually are. Right now, AI is screening job applicants, approving loans, reading medical scans, moderating what you see online, and answering your customers. These decisions are faster, cheaper, and happen at enormous scale, and they're largely invisible to the people on the receiving end. So the question facing every organization is no longer whether to use AI. That's settled. The question is whether they can govern it, whether they can ensure all of that automated decision-making is fair, lawful, and safe. That's what this course is about. So let's define it properly. AI governance is the system of policies, processes, roles, and controls that ensures AI is developed and used responsibly, lawfully, and in line with an organization's values across the entire AI lifecycle. Read that again and notice what it is not. It's not a single policy document. It's not one piece of software you buy. It's a system of people, processes, and controls working together that makes responsible AI repeatable instead of accidental. Anyone can get one AI project right by luck. Governance is how you get them all right, on purpose. Why has this suddenly become urgent? Because three things converged. First, capability. Generative AI went mainstream in 2022 and 2023, and by 2025 and 2026 Agentic AI systems that don't just answer but actually take actions moved into production. Second, regulation. The EU AI Act became law in 2024, the first binding international AI treaty was signed, and through 2025 and 2026 the first hard obligations and enforcement kicked in. And third, stakes. AI started making consequential decisions about people's jobs, money, and health. Capability, law, and stakes all crossed at the same moment. That's why governance can't wait. And the cost of getting it wrong is real and foresighted. Regulatory fines that, under the EU AI Act, can reach tens of millions of euros or a percentage of global turnover. Legal, discrimination claims and liability when an AI system harms someone. Reputational, the public trust in customers you lose when an AI failure makes headlines. And operational, models pulled from production, projects frozen. And underneath all of that, the actual harm to the person who was wrongly denied the job, the loan, or the benefit. Governance exists to prevent all five. Here's the mental map for the entire course, 5 layers. At the top, principles, what good AI looks like, fairness, transparency, accountability. Below that, laws and regulations, what you're legally required to do, like the EU AI Act. Then frameworks and standards, how to actually do it, NIST and ISO 42001. Then the program, who does it, the roles, policies, inventory, and risk processes inside an organization. And at the base, assurance, how you prove you did it, audit and certification. Principles inspire, laws require, frameworks operationalize, programs deliver, and assurance proves. Every module we cover slots into one of these 5 layers. So who actually governs AI? There's no single world regulator, instead, a layered ecosystem. Regulators write binding law, the European Union through its new AI office, the US at both federal and state level, and national authorities everywhere. Standards bodies ISO and NIST write the frameworks. Intergovernmental groups, the OECD, the Council of Europe, UNESCO, the G7, set shared principles and treaties. The profession and assurance side, the IAPP, ISACA, for humanity builds credentials and audits. And multi-stakeholder groups like the World Economic Forum convene everyone. Part of the skill is simply knowing who sets what, a law, a standard, or a norm. Out of that whole landscape, 3 reference points anchor this course. The EU AI Act, the binding law that's become the global benchmark, the way GDPR did for privacy. The NIST AI Risk Management Framework, the voluntary, flexible framework for managing AI risk. And ISO/IEC 42001, the Certifiable Management System Standard. We'll also map everything to the IAPP's AI governance professional body of knowledge. The trick is that we teach these three together: one law, one framework, one standard, so you see how they reinforce each other instead of treating them as three separate compliance chores. By the end of this course, you'll be able to do three things. 1. Speak the language, explain the risks, the principles, the laws, and the frameworks with precision, in a room full of lawyers, engineers, or executives. 2. Build the program, stand up the roles, policies, AI inventory, and risk process an organization needs. And 3. Govern real systems, assess, document, deploy, and audit an actual AI system responsibly, end to end. We're going from understanding the field to running governance in practice. To keep this concrete, we'll follow one company the whole way through. Meet Helios, a mid-size company of about 2,000 people. Helios has two AI systems in play. The first is an AI-assisted hiring tool that screens and ranks job applicants. That's high risk, because it makes consequential decisions about people. The second is a customer-facing generative AI assistant, which brings a whole different set of novel, generative risks. We'll govern both of these, end to end, as the course unfolds. Every time a rule sounds abstract, watch what Helios actually has to do about it. Here's how the 12 modules are organized, in 4 arcs. Foundations, modules 1 to 3 build your AI literacy, map the risks, and ground you in ethics. The rules, 4 to 6, cover the regulations, frameworks, and standards. The program, 7 to 9, is where you build the governance function, run risk management, and govern the AI lifecycle. And the final arc, 10 and 11, covers the frontier of generative and agentic AI, then assurance, audit, and careers. One important note: this course is educational, not legal advice. For your specific situation, verify the current law with qualified counsel, and as you'll see, that law changes fast. Let's begin where all good governance begins, with understanding. You can't govern what you don't understand, so Module 1 gives you just enough AI to govern it well. Let's go.